newest work, which I refer to as string series, but I'll back up. I used to paint very naturalistically, usually the figure, sometimes interiors, and again, like Beverly, you know, I wanted to get a likeness. You know, I wanted it to look like the person I was painting, and, or to some of the interiors I did, like I did a painting of, well, this is really strange, but I did a painting of our kitchen cabinet open, and it's realistic enough that some people have said it looks like it's actually an open cabinet. You know, anyway, it's I did that in a winter time, and it was like, why am I doing painting this cabinet of cans and boxes of food? But anyway, so I moved on from there. I went into art history for quite a while, and I got my PhD in art history. And that experience has really informed my current work because I've seen so much art from other people, both ancient and medieval and Renaissance, and particularly influenced by modern art. So these pieces came from automatic drawings, which I just would sit down and just sketch whatever came to mind. So some of these, then I thought, well, some of them could be really good paintings or interesting paintings, and some of them I don't like at all. So it's like, where did that come from? But afterwards, after I did some of these drawings, I thought of them as string theory because of their thread-like quality, the linear quality, and this energy that is emitted in the movement. So it's very organic. And I like the colors, bright colors. String theory comes out of quantum physics, and I have had no physics whatsoever, quantum physics and general relativity. So think of Einstein. So I've just read up a little bit on it, and string theory tries to unite those two ideas. What interests me in string theory is that there may be a universe beyond our own that we have no access to. It's been described as folds in the universe. You know, if you get beyond the universe that we know, what else is out there? So we could have a whole different kind of being or living outside of what we know. So that interests me. And then, so I started to see and this one initially was the first one I did, I started to see a female torso coming out from between the colorful forms. And so I thought that was Venus, the birth of Venus, because of my interest in art history. Birth of Venus is a very popular topic in the Renaissance particularly. And then I did this painting, which I call Flora. I have another one that I'm going to do called Fauna, based on a drawing. And then I went back to this painting, was the last one, and I struggled with that. But it's, now I call that one Venus, and this one Mars. So I guess I saw more of a female circle opening, call it genitalia, female genitalia, and then more phallic in the painting on the right. So just arbitrarily call them Venus or Mars. But I like that string theory is really about these vibrating filaments, vibrating threads or strings that emit all this energy. My other work that's in the other galleries is a series based on looking at my body. I mean, it kind of links with what you were saying about beauty, looking at beauty in a whole different way. As we associate in our culture beauty with youth, I started to think of the beauty of aging as I looked at my own skin, my own flesh, the bottom of my foot. It's like, oh, look at those wrinkles. So I started art history taught me how to embrace what normally you would say, oh, that's terrible, that's awful, you know, I hate this. But to invert that and say, well, where's the beauty in it? So that's what I was trying to achieve with this series. So each of the other paintings and pastel drawings represent a part of my body in some way, all public, none private. So my hand, my foot, my neck, you know, when you look in the mirror and you see you know, you get a raking light across your neck and you can see all these folds and things that didn't never used to be there. So I started comparing it to landscape, thinking of the way that time marks your body just as time marks a natural landscape. And so I think of those as sort of an approach to a natural kind of beauty in the flesh. That if you compare it to a landscape, you know, we're all part of that natural world. We all age. Luckily, we get to age, you know, because the opposite is not good. I think that's about all I have to say. Any questions? Yeah.
You know, you're talking about these more recent paintings. I think are really stunning.
Thanks.
And you were talking about string theory and parallel universes and such. And I'm thinking that almost within the painting, visually, there's parallel universes because of the way you work with the more intense color and the more subtle colors.
Yeah. I think that's more apparent maybe in this one.
But I think, I mean, I'm not looking at this one straight on, but what you do with the whites and the, you know, I mean, as we all who work with color know, I mean, white is not a simple thing.
Right.
And I just think there's such richness that exists. And I mean, obviously the universes talk to each other in the artwork, but I just find myself with the whole idea of what we know and what we don't know. That I think that those ideas are really there on multiple levels.
Yeah.
Anyway, marvelous.
Jenny, do you, when you start painting, do you relax into what you don't know and then let it just embrace
You
that and
know,
hold it?
that's a good question. I do, this working from this, I mean, the others I kind of am looking at body parts, so I'm looking at something and deriving from that. These are completely intuitive. And so, yeah, when I get into it and then start working on it, I just try to have a conversation with the painting and, you know, let it tell me what to do in a way. I do derive from my drawings, so I kind of refer to those, and then at some point I put the drawing away and just say, okay, what do I do here? And then there have been many times, Bill, when I've finished and looked at them and said, I have no idea what I've just done. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, you know, there's still, this is such a different way for me to work, you know, with a blank canvas and just intuitively trying to work out the lines and shapes.